finished. Yes, we are.
On the journey, we're hungry and thirsty.
And we're staying here.
And the nice lady's here to help us.
And she's, where's the restroom?
Oh, okay, my fondest memory. Well, we went on our honeymoon and we were in the Poconos and we were invited by some of our, I don't know, friends, table mates, whatever.
Don't make me sex rated.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, we went to one of the couples and I had never had anything to drink before. And I drank a few drinks and I mixed, I don't even want to talk about scotch and rye, whatever, I don't know. Anyway, I came back down after we had done that, and Grandpap was trying to open the door to our cottage, whatever you want to call it. And he turned around and I was gone. And guess where I was going? I was walking down to the lake. And I can't even swim. So he ran after me and brought me back up to the room where I promptly threw up because I was so sick. And I think I made him sick too. But anyway, I thought that was very sweet that he rescued me on our honeymoon from drowning.
And as an anecdote, he is still rescuing her every day. But my first memory was one of their first dates. When he asked her out and she did not like him. But she said okay, just to get rid of him. He went to her house and of course the entire family was there as usual. Me, my mother, our Aunt Aggie, our grandmother lived with her mother. And he walked in, went up to my grandmother and won her over immediately, and the rest of the family said, he's so wonderful, and she didn't like him, but she was gonna marry him no matter what because the family would make her. And she ended up making one of the best choices anybody could have ever made. And we love him.
Yeah, we do. And I'm glad he made it to 80 for this Friday.
Yeah, me too, because I got a free vacation.
Hey, Grandpap, Dad, just wanted to say a few things. Just throughout this life, my 54-year life, I got to thank you for being the best dad ever. For being a great leader, for giving me the freedom to be me and do my thing. Even when I rolled up in that 75 Dodge Dart with Glenn Gillis, and you're standing there in the yard with Glenn's dad like this. But still, you know, the consequences were I had to go to my room, whatever, but you know, you didn't string me up and take me out back and tar and feather me or anything like that, so it was cool. So anyway, what I want to tell you is happy birthday. You know, through your 80 years, your wisdom and your guidance is much appreciated by me because it turned me into the guy that I am today, and a lot of it has to do with you, so thank you. Happy birthday.
All right. Hi, Dad. It's me, number 3. All right, first thing comes to my mind, I'll never forget, stuck in my mind, is when I fell in the pool. I don't even know how old I was, but I just remember floating down to the bottom, holding my breath. I opened my eyes up, I seen this green gook, some goggles, and I'm like, all right, I'm holding my breath, I'm getting ready to die, and then somebody grabbed me and pulled me out of the, grabbed me and pulled me out of the pool. That was you, Dad. You saved my life. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, and I think it's very funny that you need to tell your 2 stories about driving to work and you violently accelerated. You had 5 Hampton cops chasing you, 4 MPs in the front gate, and everybody you ever worked for came in and saw you and was wondering what the hell you did. But you violently accelerated and didn't use your turn signal. Shame on you, Dad. That is funny. And also that today you told me the story about your secretary, that she got mad when you had your see-through pants on, you showed her your underwear, and you had to sit in front of the colonel, or the general. That was funny. All right, Dad, I appreciate you, love you, happy birthday, and thank you for being who you are because you're my savior. Thank you. Enjoy your birthday.
Amen.
Amen.
Hi, Zoel. You know, it's been a lot of years. We've known each other. We've had a lot of good times. We've laughed. I've had more fun and just at the bowling alley with you than I have most other times in my life. Something I've never really told you, but honest and truly, when I look in your eyes, I see a fatherly figure. I love you. You're an awesome, awesome man, and I would do anything in the world for you. Love you. Happy birthday.
Hi, Zoel. I remember the first time I met you and your lovely family. You still lived over on Howell Road in Fox Hill. There were no grandchildren at the time. There were none at the party, and if they were, you were all very tiny. But I met all of 4 children, all 4 sons, and we were out in the backyard doing greasy bread. And I
What a
had
fun
never
time.
seen that, I had never tasted that, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And we had the best evening ever. I remember that, and I've never forgotten it. And I want to wish you a happy birthday, and thank you for a lovely week here at Nag's Head.
Okay, when I think of Zoel, I guess the most vivid memory is that long, stupid joke that I sat on the edge of my seat for 20 minutes to get to the punchline, and all I know is it's toot, toot. And that seems to be the punchline for everything else he's ever told me.
You ready for me? When I think of Zoel, I think one of my favorite memories, we had a foreign exchange student living with us from South Korea. And Zoel would tell him these corny jokes. And him being from South Korea, he never had American sense of humor. And that poor guy would just stand there with his puzzled look on his face trying to figure it out. And he probably still is, but I still remember that.
What's that, Zoel?
One of my favorite memories of Grandpap was when Mark and I first started dating, and they asked me to the house for dinner at 7 Howell Road. And we were out on the sun porch, all of you that remember the famous sun porch at 7 Howell Road. And I had on a cute little romper, and yes, girls' rompers were still in style back then. And I stood up, and when I stood up, I adjusted my shorts. And Grandpap asked me if I was going to the movies. And I said, I kind of looked at him funny, and I was like, no. And he was like, well, you're picking your seat. And then I knew it was meant to be. I was going to be part of the family.
And so one of my favorite memories of Grandpap is when he used to just take me out to lunch. He'd say, when do you want to go out to lunch? And we'd go out to lunch, just him and me, and we just, no occasion, just go out, and we'd have a nice little lunch, nothing fancy, and we'd talk about stuff. You don't want to know what, but it was a good time. So, love you, Grandpap. Thank you for those memories.
Hey, Grandpap. One of my most favorite memories is when we used to come over and spend the weekend, and we would, you'd make us pretty much whatever we wanted in the morning for breakfast, and we get to sleep in the lighthouse room because I love that room. It was amazing. And Lily Tree.
My favorite memory is when we would all go down to the basement, the 4 Molnar children, and we'd all sit around Grandpap with our little snacks and drinks, and he would tell us all these cool stories about Hungary, and like he would teach us some words. I don't remember any of them, but it was just good times spending with our grandpa. Love you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Love you.
Okay, so my favorite memory that I have of Grandpap was when I was probably like maybe 6 or 8 years old, like definitely early elementary school, and we were staying in Massanutten. I want to say it was probably for like spring break or something. So we were hiking up the Massanutten Mountain. It was just him and I. I don't know where everyone else was, but it was just us two. And I remember like right when we were coming down, I'm pretty sure it was, I had twisted my ankle like at the very top of the mountain, like hardcore, and I was like crying and all this stuff, and Grandpap carried me all the way down the mountain, like the whole way, because my ankle was like swollen and like disgusting. So I just really, like, that always stands out in my mind, like, because it really takes a real man to carry me down when I was like little. Okay.
Okay. So my I don't want to say like my favorite memory, but one of the memories that probably stand out most to me was probably when I was like, I don't know, 3 and you were maybe like 5 or something, I don't know. But it was like probably the earliest memory I have of him. And that was when we were down here at the beach, and me and her, we were playing down by the water.
We were like about to go out to dinner, so we were like in our clothes.
So we were like in our clothes, we were all nice and cute. And so we were down by the water, just by the beach or whatever, and then all of a sudden, like out of nowhere, this big wave comes and just like knocks us out, and like Grandpap is down there, and so I don't know how long we were in the water. It felt like forever, and I just remember us just like trying to get out, and then the next thing I know, I feel myself being dragged up on the beach, and then I look up and I see Grandpap is dragging us on the beach
by our overalls.
Yes, and then I look up and I see Mom screaming from the balcony or whatever, going, "My babies!" But yeah, I remember that.
So he saved our lives.
Yes.
Like,
so.
like that wave took us under.
Yes.
We had scratches on our face from the sand and stuff. It was so bad.
Yeah, it was bad.
And he still has sand in his shoes, like, to this day, I'm pretty sure.
This is the first time that Zoll and I had gotten together after Miss Sue, and we had this house, and so Mr. Zoll came and he was going to help me paint the house. And of course, before we painted the house, we each had at least 1, 2, 3, 4 lots. So anyway, Sue was getting up the next morning to go and play for church, and she got up and walked down and saw the living room with all the trim and all we heard was, "Oh my God, what has happened?"
It was a disaster. There were streaks and spots and misplaces all over the room. And so they came to church and confessed their sin. And then the new rule was, until you have finished painting, there is no drinking. And that rule stands today in our house.
It does.
Compliments of Scott and Zoll.
My favorite memory of Zoll, and I have many, many, many favorite memories, happens to be a day when I was cleaning the leaves off my yard. I was suffering from a very painful foot, which would not allow me to go up on a ladder. And Zoll came down the lane and informed me of how stupid I was for not getting the leaves off the roof. And I told him to go to hell, and that if he wanted to get the leaves off my roof, I had a ladder in the garage and he could go get them because I couldn't get on a ladder. He said, "Okay, get the ladder." I got the ladder and he got the leaves off my roof. And ever since then, we've been great friends.
Zoll used to always come over to my house and sit on my deck in the late afternoon and have a glass of wine and watch the sunset. And one time we were sitting out on the deck and an owl came down in the backyard. And I was scared to death. It started to walk up toward the deck and I was scared I was going to go in the house. And he had a fit. He kept telling me, don't be afraid. And he also used to go next door to Marlene's house, but he would sneak away early sometimes, come to my house, and he would close all the blinds so she wouldn't see him and get in trouble with her for being at my house and visiting with me. But I used to love all his visits. They were great.
Hey Dad, I'm not good at these things, but just wanted to chat about 5.5, 6 years ago. Probably worst point in my life, down on the ground, praying for a change, and literally the next day you called and convinced me to leave West Virginia and come back and start fresh. And Dad, I can't tell you how much that meant to me. Lowest point mentally, emotionally, financially. I was just down and out. Coming back here was the best thing that ever happened to me. So thank you. I appreciate it. You have no idea how much that meant to me. To start fresh, I really needed that. Now can't say I haven't been happier in my life. So thank you very much. Happy birthday, Dad. I love you, man.
I don't have very many memories because we've only been hanging out about 2 years. But the one thing I'm very grateful for is you introducing me to your son at the food bank, where I had volunteered a few times with my mom and she talked me into coming, and that just happened to be the day that you had Matt there. And I'm very thankful that you put us together.
Hey Zol, it's Father Jim. Happy 80th birthday. We miss you at our staff gatherings because you are the magician and you're the life of the party. Otherwise, we would have to hire somebody to do that. Thank you for your great spirit and life, and hopefully we'll be friends for a very long time. Enjoy your 80th birthday and all your family that love you. God bless.
Happy birthday, Grandpap! I remember when we used to go to the orthodontist appointments together and ride in your Chrysler, I think it was a LeBaron, with the top down, singing Zolman, as you called it. And we love you very much, and you're the guy that gave me my sense of humor and taught me that farting is funny. So, I love you. Happy birthday.
And of course, Ashley has to go and steal some of my fondest memories. Our days going to the orthodontist, and we got to go sit down in that little burger diner, and you got to shock me every time you said Funk and Wagnall. But we love you so much, and we hope you have a wonderful birthday, and we're so happy we get to spend it with you. We love you. Love you. Love you. Love you.
Hey GP, I would say that my fondest memory of you would have to be, I was younger, I don't know what age, probably somewhere between 5 and 10. I would say whenever I'd come down from my yearly vacation and we would take those trips to the dump in the tan turd. It was just, I don't know why, just going on those trips with you and just the tan turd itself, the whole situation was very memorable to me, and just it always fascinated me how you were able to start it without a key. And so yeah, I would say just every year going on those trips in that tan turd was always so memorable to me, and I'll probably will never forget it. So just want to say happy birthday GP, and I love you.
Hey there, it's me.
Your latest and greatest?
Your latest and greatest. You know, I am now official. Yay, yay. So I want to thank you for welcoming me into the family right away. You're amazing. You're amazing. Happy 80th. One of the things I'll always remember is our little dance at the wedding where I had my crutch and you had your cane. And we danced to your favorite song, Zolman. So I'll always remember that. So happy 80th and many, many more. Love you, Dad.
Dad, what can I say? It's been many years. There's a lot of good memories. I would say the one I got to, enjoy firsthand was when you got to bowl again after you broke your legs, and that was a real joy to see you out there doing your thing, and it was really cool. So I love you, man, and daddy, happy 80th. Love you.
So my favorite memory of GP is one of the very first times I met him was when we actually got engaged. I stayed with Graham and GP and that for a week at their house. And he talked to me, I think one of the first nights, and he pulled him aside and told him, Matthew, you better marry that girl before I die. And it just touched my heart.
I would say my favorite would probably when I was younger and we used to take trips in the Tan Turd. And I enjoyed going out there with him and starting the car with the invisible key and just sitting in the car and pretending to drive and things like that. But my favorite part of all of that was the time he was joking with me about the invisible key and he pretended like I dropped it. And then he asked me to find it and I couldn't find the invisible key and I was so frustrated I started to cry about it. At the time I was very sad, but looking back it's actually really funny.
There it is.
Happy birthday, Grandpa.
Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday, dear Grandpa. Happy birthday to you.
Everybody go to bed. Get the hell out of here. That's what my dad